Right then everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are working outside on a lovely site today, doing a little bit of MDPE pipe work. So what I thought would be a really good opportunity to firstly get in the sunshine on this beautiful November day and show you some of the things that we do when we're doing MDPE pipe work. I thought you'd find that really interesting. There's chickens everywhere, there's cats everywhere. So yeah, if you don't already, click the subscribe button, the like, comment, all that sort of shit. Let's get on with the video. Remember to hold tight. So this is the site that we're working on at the moment. So we've got a side extension going on down here. Yeah, so we've just got some bits and bobs. As you can see, oil line going across there. I think we're going to be getting rid of oil here. So that's good. Now when you're doing this sort of work, you need to sort of consider, yeah, I'm going to be putting in MDPE pipe, I'm going to be putting it around the outside of the foundation, but we need to consider a couple of things when we're doing this sort of work that minimises disruption for the houses that might also be on that main supply, but also allows the builders to get on with the work because they're going to need water to mix up muck and things like that. So you have to, that's the sort of liaison you have to do with the builders when you're doing this sort of work. So bit of a description of what we got here, okay? So the water main currently comes in on this bit of old 15mm pipe here, runs down all the way through and then tees off into this property here where we're working, but also then tees off and runs to the property over there, which some of you long-time supporters of the channel may recognise because that's my house. The first thing I've done is obviously said to my wife, don't put the washing machine on. And I've said the same to Chris here, who lives in this property. Because what we're going to do is we have to get rid of this main going across here. That is the main part of this job, is to get rid of the main. And what we're going to do is we're just going to hop over this. We're going to lift up this board here. We're going to expose the blue main that's already there, that's under there at the moment. And we're going to drag that back and do a connection just down here in this corner. Then we're going to run our blue MDPE on this side of our foundation. If I pop over here, we're then going to tee into this. This supply here runs up to a nice garden shed that we've got just down there. So we're going to tee into that. Then we're going to carry on running around the outside of the foundation, like I said, just around here. And then we're going to tee into the foundation just here. We're going to run that pipe along there, and then we're going to have a standpipe up there. Now I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, well, you've done that. What about supplying the houses with water, particularly this house? We've just taken out their feed. What we're going to do, that standpipe is then going to connect with a little bit of JG speed fit that is just going to temporarily be in while the work is going on. There's going to be a block and beam floor going in here. So that's what we're going to do. So we are also, as I'm sure you're aware, we're going to have to freeze this pipe over here so we can work on it and do what we need to do. So considerations when freezing. Number one, you cannot have any water going through that pipe. You need to speak to everyone in the properties and say, right, turn everything off. Even if it means they turn the stopcock off and then switch the power off to things like the washing machine and the dishwasher, stuff like that. But what we also need to do is say, right, there's some bits of work I can do now before I turn the water off that's going to make the time that the water is off a lot shorter period. So number one, I can lay in the bit of pipe here that goes over to there, yeah? I can put that tee in now, okay? I can get that round there, I can get the tee in through here, and I can get the standpipe up, I can get the valves on and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in this little video, guys. So less description. Oh yeah, one other thing, a little addition that's just been put on is we've got to put a stop tap up there, which the suppliers didn't have. So I'm going to go and have a look in my shed and see if I can find one. Oh, you're a fan of Nick Bundy, aren't you?
Mate, I've seen this video once.
Right, so one of the first jobs we've got to do, and we're doing this now because it doesn't require us to turn any of the water off, we don't have to disrupt any of the other properties, we don't have to freeze any pipe, and that is just putting a stopcock on this here. So we're just going to pop that on there now, and that's job number one. But what I'll do is, while we're doing this stopcock, it's probably a nice place for me to show you some of the things you should consider when you're using MDPE fittings. The main one is the pipe damaged or not? Because usually, obviously, they're getting fed through, you know, brick walls and stuff like that. And if there's a big score in the pipe, the rubber isn't going to be able to get a seal around that. And there's a couple of methods that we plumbers use to make sure that if there is a score, how we can get rid of it. It's called a Stanley knife. But anyway, let's have a go. So the standpipe in this shed has been lovingly fed through a nice little bit of 4-inch waste pipe. So I'm just cutting that back with my oscillating Bosch piece. Oh yeah, baby. That would be perfect. Down the other end. Flint will be there. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you want it to be about here then, yeah? Right then, so first thing you need to look at, well, first thing you do is pop your insert in, just like so. Tell you what, we'll give you a close up. Right, so you feel around the pipe, and if you feel any sort of scores on it, like we've got a little score there, just at the back, and that's actually from, looks like from manufacturing. So what you do is you just get your Stanley knife and you just feel that score and just run the Stanley knife up through the score a little bit, just flat blade like that. And then look, you can see that score's just disappearing now back to like flat pipe. And look, we've only taken off like a tiny bit, but that feels pretty damn good actually. So if you want, you can put the fitting on stripped down. If you're putting a valve on like this, obviously take note there's an arrow which denotes which way the water's going to be flowing. So you can pop this on like so if you want and do it all like that. Or you can do how I'm going to do it and just pop it all in one go. Damn it. There you go. Nice simple job now, just get this tightened up, make sure I've got it facing the direction that Chris wants it to be in. He's very particular about that, weren't you, Chris? I know you're watching. Also, something that I'll often do with these is once I've tightened them up, I'll loosen them off again and then get a bit of white CT1 or clear CT1 and just pop that round the biting teeth. I'll probably do that outside, but yeah, I just sometimes do that, bit of belt and braces, do you know what I mean? So all in now. Now we can move down the garden. Oh my God, plumber parts, I can't believe how strong you are. You always have to carry this heavy bag. Now, if you're really worried about a bit of pipe, you can, and this is the sort of thing you do when you never ever ever want to take this fitting apart again. Even though it will come apart, it will just come apart in a way that means you've got to replace it. Can put on a little bit of sealant. So we've got some, this is Ox Grip 3-in-1, but the main part about it is it's grab adhesive, sealant and gap filler, and it's waterproof. So you can put it on, it will go onto that main. Don't want the first lot that comes out because it's all oily. All right, Dad, just making a start. The old man's just turned up. Good luck getting here without breaking your ankle. When I'm saying putting this stuff on, I don't mean you're going to whack loads of it on in one go. It's not, you're not doing it like it's a sealant for a bath or anything like that. You just want to put a little bit and just wring it around the pipe. Yeah, well, so look, just that much if you want, and then you can just run it around the actual pipe that you're going to be putting the fitting on. The old man's here. He's now going to start telling him about air source heat pumps.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking to Chris about it yesterday, about air source, and I know, but he was saying to me I should get involved in installing them, but I was like, I just don't think the tech's there yet. Well, Chris, you'll be all right because you can put all your new radiators in and make them big enough. But if you don't have big enough radiators,
Right. I had a guy come around the other day. First thing he said, I'm not here trying to sell you anything. And I said, well, why are you here then?
Yeah.
just so you know, they're just stood there chatting at the moment. So as you can see there, I'm just scraping off that pipe, then putting a little bit of sealant around it, making sure that it gets a nice watertight seal. And a lovely bit of bum crack there as well. Chris was meant to be digging it before you came along, Dad. Start talking to him.
Yeah, sorry.
Dad's also repping Stuart Turner merchandise at the moment. So yeah, Dad, the point of what we're going to be doing is we're going to take...
Do you know where it is then?
Yes, down,
Oh, it's here.
down there. So all we've got to do is lift this up,
Yeah.
just dig out whatever's sort of along here so we can expose the pipe. We're going to do a connection there. We're not going to just drag it back, if you see what I mean. Yeah, and then we connect there and then run it around the corner. Then I've got to freeze it, put a standpipe up. But... Right, so the old man's gone off to get an elbow that I forgot to get. I always forget something. Chris is going to do some digging.
Lovely.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I'll just like moving.
Mate, you've got to move that further. I don't know. So yeah, I'm just going to get my main round. So look, we're doing prep work here now. So we've got that T in there. We've got our pipe laid in there, and then what we're gonna make it so we have two or three final connections to do all at once. But this work can be done now, can't it? So we're gonna get round here. We're gonna feed our pipe round there. We're gonna make sure it doesn't touch any of the brickwork on that corner. It's gonna run to here. We're gonna tee into here up to where Chris is digging, and then connect on to the main back there as well when we freeze it. Right, so we got that's connected up there. We're running around here. I've left a bit of slack on this bit here so we can, when they backfill this, they can push that off that corner. We've got our T in there going up to a temporary main, and then we've got, so now we're ready to freeze that bit there, do our final connection. Then we'll pop a connection over into the house behind Dad, and then we'll do my house as well, which is the most important one out of the lot, as we know. And just because this is going to get covered up soon, the guy who did my plastering on the house here, the rendering, knows my next door neighbour, and he's got his nickname is Jelly. All right, so when he did the plastering on the side of my house, we had to lift out all our fence panels just like this. Okay, but he left this here, so you could always see it, with a little bit of pargeting and everything. And when I came to put in the fence panel back in, I cut a square around that and put a little bit of mitre in around it as well, because this used to be their conservatory. And Kelly wasn't best pleased, was she?
Not particularly, mate.
She wasn't very happy.
Not really.
It's stuff like that that makes life worth living though, isn't it, you know? Right, so freezer kits, very simple. So you pop this in here and we just fill that up. So yeah, hopefully we've got our freezer on there now. We've got our freezer solution in there. We're just waiting for that to freeze. So when that happens, we've got effectively 20 to 30 minutes maybe, yeah, to get the work done that we need to do before that plug disappears. Right, so we've tested there. We've opened up an outdoor tap over there. It's slowed up. So now we're going to cut it. Oh my God! Let's get that covered over, because you can cover that over the towel and just keep that in good nick. It's at this point with a frozen plug in the pipe that my mate's wife comes round to borrow some tools. Right, girl, Emily will roughly know where they are. Unfortunately, I've got a frozen plug. Diamond Corbett.
Diamond Corbett?
Yeah, they're in a silver box. Dad, actually, you know what they
Yeah, I
look
know
like.
where they are. I know what they are. Where else are these in?
I have no idea. They'll be either in the back of the van or in the garage somewhere.
Keys the van are.
Hold on, Dad. Just wait for me. Just wait a sec, hold on. Just get this done here.
You'll have to just wait a few moments.
Sorry. See, I've got this frozen, the water main. So I've got one chance to do this.
So we try to beat the ice.
Beat the...
I'm glad of the rest, to be honest. Oh, okay.
He could talk with fucking glass eye to sleep, couldn't he?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cheers, Jimmy.
No worries, my
If
darling.
If you don't do it today, are you happy for us to keep it tomorrow?
Oh yeah, that's fine, don't you worry. Fortunately, everything pushed together nicely here. It's quite tight up against the foundation of the building, so I'm going to pop something down there just to protect that elbow against the concrete. Right, we're not out of the woods yet though, man. So the bit we've got to now get done, so that's still frozen in there. We've laid a towel over our frozen section, just over there. We've got this on now, so now we've got to get this bit done over here. So this is going to be a quick cut and a doodle daddle, and we're doomed. That made no fucking sense. It doesn't matter. Now the eagle-eyed Plumber Parts viewer will probably notice that I actually filmed this. I think this is in early December, so you can probably see there's still leaves on the tree. But I didn't get to film the end bit of this, of us getting everything back on again. But needless to say, it was all completely fine. The takeaway tips that I'd give you from this is just make sure that when you do freeze your pipe, no water's going through it, and you cover it over with the towel whilst you're doing your work, and you make sure that you only have a few connections to do at the end to make sure it doesn't leak. I did pop round and ask Chris whether I could film the final bit of all the pipe laying in there, but he's already backfilled it, so you're not going to be able to see it. But take my word for it, I've got water, he's got water, his shed's got water, we've all got water. See you in next week's video, guys. WhatsApp's probably going to be the place as well that I'll share all the behind the scenes stuff. So what I'll probably do over the next few days, some of you this will probably matter to, probably most of you this won't matter, because most of you are behind the scenes members already. But we'll keep the behind